So tomorrow is my Solosexual anniversary. Happy anniversary to myself. I want to thank the three of you guys who participated in Solosexuals Unite 2022, uploaded a video and shared it with me. There's still one day to participate. If you want to go on a Solosexual date tonight, record 5 minutes of it, send me a video, and I'll give each of you, the first 200 of you guys, a 1 ounce bar of silver. Please do participate if you're solosexual. We need to get our voices heard, right? I think part of the problem here in the United States is that solosexuals, they pull in all sorts of directions, right? Because they have all sorts of different interests in life, right? For me, I love to write computer games. For somebody else, it might be a sport that they play. It might be, they might love to play a musical instrument, and everybody's pulling in different directions, and as a result, it's very easy to pass these people by at work, right? People who have a family have a commonality direction that they're going toward, right? It's very easy for them as a group to ask for time to take care of their families, and think about all the things you enjoy today, right? They would, a lot of them were pursued by somebody as an interest at some point, right? I just talked about writing computer games. A lot of the mathematics that I use in that at one point was just a curiosity, right? Anyway, getting back to the point, I'm a little bit miffed by what happened earlier this month. I work at I work at 2 different tutoring agencies at the moment, and one of them, I know they get a lot of pressure from the parents. So the manager on a Friday afternoon had called me and just basically just told me to take the student at 10 a.m. the next day. It wasn't even like, could you do 10 a.m. tomorrow? Oh, there's a student, and please give them your best first impression you can. In 12 hours notice? First of all, I had to change my sleep schedule just to accommodate that. Not surprisingly, a student's not very happy, and now the boss is kind of blaming me for it, and I only had 12 hours notice. I probably should have said something to him about that, but I really tried to give it my best. And then at the other center that I'm working, we recently just put together a summer schedule, and my boss just blindly assumes I'm going to be available every week for the summer. I would have loved to take a trip to Wallace, Idaho. I see all my colleagues' schedules. They all have nice 1 or 2 week gaps, and because my boss can probably relate to them a whole lot more. He and I have religious differences, and that's become a soreness. He thinks it's selfish of me to not start a family. He doesn't say it out loud like that, so not to say he thinks that I'm his slave or anything, but he probably just cannot relate to the wanting of going to Wallace, Idaho, and he can relate to my colleagues wanting to go out with their families to Las Vegas a little bit more, right? Or I have one colleague who's a little bit younger, to Disney World a lot more than Wallace, Idaho, right? He just the ability to relate, right? That's why I want this big solosexual alliance, right? I guarantee he has family members who are solosexual, but he doesn't see them as the same group as me, right? I guarantee he does have family members who are solosexual. Now, the other problem is sometimes I have colleagues who ask me for various favors, especially during the pandemic, to fill in for various issues. They have childcare issues. Kids don't have school to go to and all that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have an open dialogue of how I can help. The problem is when it's not on a level playing field, when it's somebody who has control over me, when it's being asked in a group setting where I can't very freely speak my mind, right? You're on a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting with 5 or 6 other people, and you're blabbing about how next week you have childcare issues and who could fill in for this. It's hard to say no to that, right? I thought I would point that out. And especially people who think I have nothing better to do. Now, in terms of the current tutoring center I'm at, I'm so tempted to go ask about the scheduling, but every time I go to the center, I hardly have one-on-one time with my boss. There are students there, and I don't want the students to get the impression that Wallace is more important to them. So I think that we have a level playing field issue there too, right? And I really love working with the students. Every time I go there, I get lost talking to them that I forget about Wallace anyways. It's just so weird. I don't know what's going to happen. I know God has some arrangements for me to see Wallace at some point, and it will happen, but it's really funny was the other day when I took the rapid test for COVID-19, I was like, either way I'm going to win. It's either going to be negative and I'm going to enjoy working with my students, or it's going to be positive and I'm heading right out to Wallace from there, right? We have, fortunately, there's plenty of Airbnbs to stay there where I don't have to come into contact with anybody. So that was one of the best rapid tests I ever took.